Welcome to Pallilo Points. I'm Brandon Strange of Sports Map Houston. He is Charlie Pallilo of ESPN 97.5, 92.5. If you love Houston sports, regardless if it loves you back, please hit like and subscribe. Charlie, the Astros completed a 4-game sweep of the A's in Oakland over the weekend to kick off their 2021 revenge tour. We know the Astros pitching staff is not 100%. Framber Valdez and Jake Odorizzi are not yet ready. When Odorizzi gets back, Luis Garcia will get bumped out of the rotation, but Framber's a different story. James Click says he's healing nicely and they hope to get him back in the rotation sooner than later. Charlie, who gets the bump then?
I think you go with the all merit system with a couple of qualifiers to that. 37-year-old Zach Greinke making $34.5 million this season, albeit not all from the Astros directly. But if he's borderline in terms of performance among the candidates, he's staying in the rotation. McCullers with his new $85 million extension, I'm sure you wouldn't want to poke the bear and say, Lance, we're going to make an $85 million reliever. So that would leave Jose Urquidy and Christian Javier as the candidates. May the lesser pitcher be removed from the rotation. Now, Javier threw well out of the bullpen last year before going into the rotation. And younger, without Tommy John surgery in his past. So I would think Javier might be considered the more flexible, fungible arm, so Urquidy would be more apt to stay in the rotation. The Astros also could contemplate stretches of the schedule where you get to 18, 20 days in a row without an off day, maybe going with a 6-man rotation, given none of these Astros pitchers, save Greinke, have ever pitched a full major league season with the workload that we associate with that. They have an abundance of options, and most of them look pretty good.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it seems like it's kind of a 2-horse race between Javier and Urquidy. In your opinion, who's more likely to move up next year once Greinke's gone?
You know, Urquidy probably has the lower ceiling in that he's already 27 years old. He does not have the electric stuff at the level Javier does. You rarely hear the word crafty attached to right-handers for whatever reason. It's the crafty, wily left-handers. Urquidy's kind of a crafty right-hander. Now, I'm not saying he's going out there with strictly penknives to gunfights. His fastball gets up into the 90s comfortably, and he has some sharp breaking stuff. But Javier, if someone was to become a top 10 pitcher in the league between those two, I think Javier has more of the untapped potential at this point, so that's where I'd fire the dart.
You use one of those baseball cliches and crafty, and I'll use another one, lively. Javier has a lively fastball, and we've seen Dusty Baker use Javier in high leverage relief situations before, like you said. But if Javier projects to be one of the Astros front end of the rotation guys, could using him in the bullpen maybe delay his development?
I don't know about delay, because I think, subject to what else develops, if you have a comfortable rotation, Odorizzi, McCullers, the other candidates, it's not the same as throwing 150, 170 innings, whatever we consider a good workload for a starter in this era. But if you could be a multi-inning reliever, and specifically for the 2021 Astros, to risk putting the cart a bit ahead of the horse, not even 1 week into the season, the Astros 2017 model, and not the only time where you saw McCullers and Morton swap out 4-inning relief outings, helping the Astros win the World Series. Javier could be a real weapon in multiple games out of the bullpen within a playoff series or a series of postseason series. Ultimately, the biggest dollars go to the best starting pitchers. Javier years away from even arbitration, much less free agency, so I don't think he'd be thinking, hey, make me a full-time starter and only a starter. So I think this one can move reasonably organically forward.